Android. And for this module, I think you should definitely take the deck.
Yeah, I take the deck. I just need to change the site to the place where I am. I found it in the right place. So Android. Why is not moving? Yes. So when we start doing a project, normally, like if your phones are totally not managed and
Did you
people is
click share?
already
Share,
running,
Sandy? Yes.
um,
Sorry.
yeah.
I didn't see it, but that's here. It's here. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, that yeah, in the right screen, yes. Okay. So we're normally starting a project, like you already have phone and people are already using it. And now you suddenly, okay, I have Intune license and I want to manage my phones. How do I start? Do you start go ahead to configure policies and things like that? So technically no. So first thing is that you need to think about you have existing Android devices. Are you willing to reset all these devices? So because some of devices that is like if you are going to do personal owned devices, that is BYOD, then you don't need to reset the device. But if the requirement is that you want everything, the Android devices need to be fully managed. So in this case, you will have to reset the device. So then it depends on how much workload that you are willing to take. Do you really want a full managed or what kind of management type? Does your user okay with that you reset the mobile phone? So do you have resource to support them? So that's the first thing you really need to think about. And second thing is, what kind of phone, what kind of operating system, like the level, is it Android 9 or is it Android 10 or 11? Do you have a list of all the devices that what kind of OS version they are using? So as we show you before, it has requirements. So Android need to be at least Android 10 for the management and other things. So how is your current situation? And then the device ownership. Is it the phone is paid by the company? Is it company owned or is it user owned? Did they buy that by themselves? In Europe, I don't know how about in US. So in at least in Finland, many company they do offer the phone to users, like a company buy it, but user can like pay a little bit amount of money. Then they are also allowed to using the phone, and also sometimes that they can actually buy the phone by themselves back, so they can use the phone like in personal and company both both usage. So it really depends on the company culture, that how you want the phone to be managed and how you owns the phone. Then the fourth, you need to think about usage scenario. So will this be a kiosk device shared or is a frontline worker? That kind of scenario. So those are really special scenarios. That's the thing. Then privacies, like do you want a user to have a little bit privacy of themselves, or do you need to have a total control? For example, some factory that they really have really strict, like I used to have one customer that the phone doesn't even have a camera. For example, they don't allow people to using the phone taking pictures because it might expose some company secrets. So they want everything to be total controlled. So that kind of things that you need to be considering before you go really decide what kind of enrollment type you're going to use. And now this is example that how you can know what kind of OS, Android OS version, for example, that you have in your environment. The easiest way is that if I am using a personal phone that is not managed at all completely, and I have been using that to log into my emails or download Teams and have been using that. So it will leave a sign-in log in your Entra. So in Entra, you will be able to using sign-in log and chase down that what kind of devices that users are using to sign into your environment. So in this case, I just only try to find out that for the Android, of course you can using the similar query, but just for iOS as well. So you will have this screenshot in the deck, and you can try to find out what kind of iOS that, or what kind of Android version or device model that people are using. And after you knowing your environment, so then you have a overview what kind of enrollment type profile you are going to use. So then you can create the enrollment profiles, and then you can continue doing device configurations and starting of the applications. And then, of course, onboarding to configure Defender. That's also very important. Then you can create Entra groups because you need to assign this kind of application, or you need to assign the configuration profiles and policies to a group. And also filters, Intune filters is really an excellent feature in Intune. And then think about Intune ABAC. That's one of the also things that you might need to think about, because in some big organization, you might have a different team to managing Windows, and you might have a different team to managing mobile devices. So you may not want them to confusing each other's device or policies. Then Intune ABAC is the excellent feature that can scope which admin can do what. And of course, onboarding guidance for users and also some troubleshooting for your help desk. So now for onboarding for users, many times we try to make a really nice PowerPoint on PDF and tell the users that, hey, now is the time that you enroll your machine, even like a BYOD, bring your own devices. Or maybe you want your user to reset the phone to do a full managed device. So we are really bad to reading guidelines or reading PowerPoints. We do. It's many times causing failed for the user experience. So when user cannot enroll their phone in the first time, they really hate the experience, and then they don't want to try again. So most successful one that I have done with one customer, that in a really short time they were able to manage their all 5,000 phones in only few months. So what they did was that they organizing Teams meeting. So they invited patch of the end users to the meeting, and then they show the end users and guide them step by step and make them to enroll their phone during the meeting. So they have two-person presenter, one is showing and one is answering questions. So when people have problem, then they write in the chat, then they help them and show them how to enroll the phone one by one during the meeting. So that works super good. Okay, now enrollment type. There's many things. So this is the one. So we talk about, we have the laser point. So MEM, this is the one what we already talked in the very beginning. So if you want a light management, that's the Jay was asking that how the BYOD. So this one is the one that if you have existing devices, people are already using that, and you don't want people to reset the phone, then this will be your first choice. That using a personal own and have a work profile. So for the Android phone, we will have like a two sides. So one is the user private thing, and then they will have a work profile. Then we will have all the work related application inside the work profile. So this one will be kind of excellent choice for existing devices. And after that, a little bit more control, then we will have this cooperate on with work profile. These two phone type in the middle, it actually looks almost exactly same when in the end user side. So end user will see that they have two profiles. One is personal, one is work. So regardless how it's been enrolled. So user won't see much difference, but admin side will see difference. I will show you later. Then this one, the fourth, is the full managed. So this will be have only one profile in the phone, and it will be just like a company. And the last one, this is a dedicated device. This is mostly using for kiosks and digital signature. So we don't really talk about this now because it's a special, really special kind of device. So I have a little chart in here that can let you know what kind of management type and have all different kind of functionality. So MEM, we talked about that already. So this is the tool that what I kind of really like to focus about. That's most company actually use, most of them. So existing devices will have BYOD. And many company will start with this. Then at the same time, if they have a new phone, then they will start using this cooperate on the work profile. That's how most company, when they start using mobile device management, they don't want it to reset all the phones. So the thing is, for the admin side, make sure that take a look at these remote actions. They have different kind of remote action that you will be able to do in the device. So that is the differences between different management type. So for personal owned devices, you can have sync. You can have retire, delete, remote lock, but there's no wipe, which means that you won't able to wipe people's phone. Of course, you can't because that is a personal device. But with cooperate owned work profile, you will be able to wipe the device. So that is one really big difference. Then you can also remove app and configuration. So this is a new setting. So there's a little bit difference between these two types. So manage Google Play. The first time, let me put the laser things away. I'll just leave it. So first time when you configure Android Enterprise onboarding, you need to have configure this managed Google Play. So that is something that you must configure in the first place. Otherwise, you cannot enroll the phone to Google and to Android Enterprise. So you just click on the wizard, you agree the agreement. Then you just launch. So you back to this screen that you have this agree. Then this button will be become active, blue. I guess it was blue. Then we go to the Android Enterprise page. So in here, it will ask you to enter a work email. So back in the days, you have to using an account and register as a Google account. Then you do this link to this Android Enterprise. But now it's supported using your work email. So you don't need to manually create an account and do this Google account at all. So it's automatically recommend you to use the account that you sign into Intune admin portal. Then you continue, and then you will have this kind of sign in button, and it will come to this permission request. So in this one, you will also see this have a consent behalf of your organization. Don't click this checkbox. You don't need that for do this connection. So this checkbox is totally not needed. So don't click that. So yeah, don't consent this kind of permission for the whole organization. So you just only accept. And now this is something, this is I run into this problem because I was using my admin account that does not have a first name and last name. I don't remember how this account is created. It wasn't me. I think Jan created that. There's no first name, last name. So after I go through this wizard, the wizard itself is fairly simple. You can look through that, and these are the free extra Google Android Enterprise offer you service, and you don't need to add any of this for this Intune method. But of course, you can if you want to. So go to the next and allow to create account, and now something went wrong. So this was the problem that I run into myself, and I spent some time to wondering what happened. And it was because that my account, the account that I doing this was missing first name, last name. So creating this account will fail. So you make sure that you have first name, last name in that account. So once it's done, then it's connected. This one is fairly simple. And if you want to allow other people to have access to this admin google.com, you can also invite a new user if you want to, but you don't have to. So now the question is, if I had already linked this to a Google account, like back in the days, couple years ago, so how do I using this new integrated account? So Microsoft now offer a new migration upgrade button for you. So this just came in September 2025, so not long ago. So it will offer you this upgrade for free button. So when you click on it, then it will just automatically migrate to this new method. So our tenant, one of our tenants have this button, but I have not clicked on that yet. So maybe we will do that. Yeah, so that is the Google account things. And now we talk about different kind of type. I think we talked about this one already. BYOD, personal restriction. We already talked that. Yes. So normally it's how it looks. So personal on BYOD devices, as you see in the screenshot, we have this personal side. So personal side, we don't see it as an admin. So user will be really happy. They have all the privacy in the personal side. Then they also have the work side in here. So all the application from the work side, they will also see have this little briefcase. So these are the work related applications. And that's how it looks from the end user side. And now one thing also important to know that if you have before configured like a Wi-Fi settings and other settings using these custom settings for Android, this is already no longer support. So you might, it might still work, but you are not able to create this anymore. So I would seriously recommend you to go back to your environment, see your Android management, that if you are using this kind of custom settings to configure anything to your Android devices. If you have, you should be migrate that. Here has a link to Microsoft actually has some blog posts so that you can read about how you do the migration. So this demo is how to do personal enrollment. I think this one is, where's the, ouch, where's this, my, oh my, yeah, there we go. I think the laser is really stupid now. I can't remove the laser. Can I remove the laser?
You just click on the laser again.
Yeah. Okay, I click the laser. So from the very beginning, adding an account. So this is one when user try to sign in the application, and then it kind of tell you that it's work account that you are trying to log on. So this is a phone. This is the very beginning when the phone is not MAM managed. It's also not MDM managed, and user trying to sign into Office app, for example, and try to access. So because we have conditional access and define that, hey, you need to have an app protection policy. So which now when user try to sign in, it will tell you that, hey, you have to go to a Google Play Store to download Intune company portal. So then user continue go to Google Store and download the company portal. Then they will configure, come back, and then they are able to now access to these applications. So that is actually, yeah, this is the MEM. So this is the how the MEM doing at this moment. Then we continue do this. So this is a MAN policy requiring all these kind of Google Play integrity warnings, things like that. And then that's the access control that require people set up a PIN. Oh, where did that go? Then I'm now here. That is a PIN. So now that's a requirement for the PIN. So maybe we kind of require that has a 6-digit, and I was trying to do 4, which is not okay. Then I have to redo it again. Yeah, so that is MAM at this moment. Yeah, so now this one, your organization data cannot be pasted. So that was the data protection we were talking about when we were talking about app protection policy, that we can define that if I have something that is from a protected app, am I allowed to copy paste text to some other unprotected application? So when people try to do that, then they will also seeing this or your organization data cannot be pasted, or at actually the new time that it might be saying that you are not allowed copy more than 16 characters, for example. So this is still MEMP. So now we are going to do the MDM. So MDM will be that user download the company portal, and they open the company portal, and then they click the sign in. Oh, where am I? Yeah. So now sign in company portal in here. Then this screenshot in here, because normally if user is first time doing this enrollment, the screen will be tiny to be different. It won't show this error message. It won't show that because when we do this demo, we have already redo it again and again. So that's why this is second, third time. So it shows differently. So in this case, I'm showing that this device is not managed, and you have to click on that one. And so this is the screen normally user will be seeing in the very first time. Then only option that they should be doing is that click the begin, and then they tell them about the privacies, then they continue. It's just really simple wizard, click less and less. So the only like this, then the phone will be just being managed as when this goes through, it will be just become this kind of personal owned BYOD, so have a personal profile and a work profile. So this will be the most simple one for the end users. Yep. So next one, coming soon, prepared. This coming next year in the first quarter. It has a new implementation, how Intune deliver policies to device. So they are going to using a new API. And also they will be changing. So as you see these personal owned devices, I was downloading company portal and sign in and do the next, do the enrollment. So Microsoft is changing this next year. It will be using this web-based enrollment instead. If you will see this in your Intune environment, then you need to confirm that you are going to use this web enrollment for all the users from now on. So that change is coming next year. So not yet. Yeah. So now we can talk about cooperate on work profiles. This one, it can create a QR code. So that's how normally we do that. We create a new profile and there's a QR code. So what you can do is that you can print out the QR code, give to your users. And when user get a new phone, then they can tap the screen. I think it was 5 times. They can tap the screen 5 times. Then it will open the camera. And after that, they can use the camera to scan the QR code. And then we'll continue the result and make the phone become managed. So another method is that this is the method. So another method you can do is using staging. So this is a new method Microsoft have implement. I think it's last year, so it's not really like a new, but it's still kind of new. So it's a staging. So staging is that admin create the token, then admin or third-party vendor, they can provision this device ready for the end users. So when user turn on the phone, all they need to do is they just open the Intune app and log in. And so user does not need to do the enrollment by themselves because that is already enrolled. So it's already provisioned. So this is a better way for the company that if all the phones are shipped to the IT people first, then you give to hand out to the end users. So this will be a better way.
So it's pre-provisioning for Android.
Yeah. like a white glove autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same things, yes. Yeah. So full manage, also the same thing. It's a QR code and also have this staging as well. So it's pretty much the same. So I guess these are all the screenshots how full managed device that can be running on the staging mode. So this is admin when you first time open the phone. It asks you choose the language. And then you tap it 5 times. So it kind of tell you 2 more tap. So after you tap it again, you choose the language, and then it asks you to scan the QR code. Then you scan it, and you connect your home network, or if you have a SIM, so normally connect a network. Then it start doing the enrollment itself. So these are all the enrollment, how it go, the next and next. There's no really like other options. technically. So by default, full managed Android, it will automatically install two applications. One is the authenticated app and Microsoft Intune. So this app is required. But if you have already some other application that you assign to the phone, then it will also show up, also install those apps. So turn on the locations and agree the agreements, and then it's done. So this phone is done. And it will show up in your Intune portal looking like this, tell you that it's staging. And there's no compliance policy yet because there's no actual user yet at this moment. Nothing is applied yet. So yeah. So when users sign in the phone, so now you turn off the phone and you give to your users. So when user open the phone, what they will see is Intune will automatically open and tell the user to sign in. And then you will be signing with your company email, and then you just click register, and then you click next, and then it's done. So this will be more user-friendly for the user side. So yeah, so this will be full managed. So full managed is like looking like a regular phone for the users. There's no personal profile, there's no work profile. That this will be a full managed device. But of course, there's no privacy whatsoever. So this phone is completely managed by your company. I can wipe at any time, things like that. Yeah. So that's the Android part. User case. Yeah, this is the white glove things. We talk about this. So selective wipe. I will do demo on this one. This one. So we talk about app protection policy, right? And we also talk about what if that is a phone that is not managed, or maybe it's a personal owned devices that people leaving the company. So how can I wipe the data? So I don't want to wipe the phone, but I just want my company data leave from this device, and I don't want the user's email still in the device. How should I do that? So in app in here, you can have this app selective wipe. You have a wipe request or user level wipe. So wipe request, I can require wipe request, and then I can select the user, which one is BB8. And it knows that I have the Samsung devices in here automatically. Then I can create a wipe. So if I click this, then it will trigger the command to remove all the company application data from this machine. And if I happen to be many devices, then I can choose many devices. So this is one kind of wipe. Another wipe is user leveled. Then I click a user leveled. I choose maybe which one you were using, Jan? Was it this one?
What?
Or Amy? Were you using Amy?
Padme and Padme and Anakin. Depends. What are you looking for?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, user level wipe. So if you wipe everything belongs to this user.
Don't do that.
Maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah, no, I did that. I now remember you do have demo, so I don't wipe your stuff. I will just leave it.
No, I'm not demoing that, but yeah. Anyway, you can also do, based on, you can just wipe on a certain phone as well, right?
Yeah.
Did you show that how you wipe a certain phone?
Yeah, I can do mine. I can do.
So you select but if you now select that user, you should see that one phone. But if you go and select the other user, Anakin, for instance, I think maybe you will see two phones.
Yeah.
So
okay, you have two phones. Okay.
Check Anakin if he has two. Anakin.
Where is it?
Just type
I don't
Anakin.
see that.
Type on the top.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Try this. It
no,
also has
only
one
iPhone. Yeah, you only have one iPhone. Yeah. So you have
yeah,
multiple
that's
phones,
right.
then
I have
will
two
be able to
different
choose
users.
That. Okay. Yeah, that's the one. So another one is deploy applications. People also do this mistake before. create an app. So I go to application, I choose Android, then I have to create apps. Now the choice. So we have Android Store app, manage Google Play, web link, built-in app, line of business, enterprise system app. I have seen some people choose this one, Android Store app. So it looks cool because I kind of, it can be like this, but this won't work. And also I have seen people doing Android. I think Android Enterprise System app actually might work, but nevertheless, Manage Google Play app is the one that you should be using because we are using Android Enterprise. So this is the only place you should be going to doing applications, Manage Google Play from this one. So not anything else. This will be the one. And then you select that. And then you can able to select any application you want. And then you click this select. This is a funny thing. Select or deselect. It's like you click it once, then it changes to this little tiny green color. And I'm not sure, are you able to deselect it? It's already just click it, then it should change. It doesn't really matter, doesn't count how many times you click it. It's not going to be deselect. So it's already there. So after you select that, then you need to come back and click the sync. Then the app will be added in some time in this page. So now also another thing you can do is that if you want to create, for example, you have your a web page that you wanted to deploy a shortcut like a Windows, you want to have a shortcut of a web URL. That you can also do. So you can go to a web application and then you can have this, click this button, then we can have this demo, or maybe I could have Googled, then I do google.com, and I can choose that if I want the full screen or standalone or the minimal UI. And I can also upload an icon if I want to. Then I just click create. So this says that saving your app, this can take up to a minute. That's what it said. So let's come back. It's already saved, but I want to come back here. So now you see the difference. I have one called CloudWay. So that's the one that I already created before. Now the new one is not available yet. So if I click that again, I come to this page. You can't actually select the app because it's not ready. If you try to click that, actually nothing is going to happen. Oh, okay. Actually, it's now ready. I was too slow. So if it was not ready, you don't have this select app that you can be select to. So if you create the app and you just wait that appear to Intune, they won't show up. So you will have to wait until this app is created. Then you come back here. Then you click this select app once. And again, it's very unclear that if you have clicked it or not, because that's how Microsoft or Google decide that the color really not changed, but you just click that and then you click sync again. Then the app will be available in Intune. Then you can assign to your devices. So this one I want to show because I make this mistake myself that I create a web application and I thought it would just show up in Intune, but it didn't because I missed the step that I have to go back and click that. So that's why I want to show this. Okay, that's the demo. Do we have any questions?
Nothing that's not answered right now. I think I answered in the chat. After the wipe, does the device removed from Intune console too? Yes, if you do a device wipe, it will be removed from the Intune console. Actually, the delete and the wipe almost do the same thing in most circumstances.
Yeah. It does.
Yes. All right, so I suggest we take another 7-8 minutes break and meet back around.
We can take 8 minutes.
Well, it's.
Then we meet in the 7.
That will be 7 minutes now. So So let's meet on the top of the hour for the last parts. Sandy, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. We actually have a question in Q&A.
Oh, in Q&A.
Yeah, so what are some common risk examples for organization experience when they only implement MFA authentication, but then they kind of don't want to do anything of the mobile device compliance? So would there be some common examples that what kind of compromise you will have if only using MFA but not require the device to be managed?
I have multiple
Yeah.
experiences working with customers that has users with compromised accounts where a compliant device has blocked the attacker from getting further. I can't go into details of these customer cases, but this is one of the scenarios: is that your account is getting compromised, or they do like OTP bots. They phish your token. They phish your MFA. They manage you to do the MFA on their behalf. Then the compliant device is stopping them from getting further, even though you have given them your password, even given them you said push notification and allowed them to get in, but the device compliance they don't have, so they will be blocked by that. So that's kind of the very shortly explained is that's the next barrier. So if your account is getting compromised, that's just layer 1. Layer 2 is the compliant device. So if that is a requirement, then that will block them from getting further in. I hope that kind of answered it quickly.
And also for Android phone, that Android is able to install this kind of different source of the application. So you don't have to go to the Google Play to install apps. You can actually install APK from anything that you download from internet. By default, you can do that. So if user install some application, some APK that is really bad, they might be actually do some what's this malware to your phone, or maybe can have rooted phones, so they might able to store your tokens in the back end, then can hack your account. So that is also one thing that if the phone is managed, then you will be, or even using MAM, then you will be able to using those jailbroken or a rooted device to limit blocking those actions. So that would be one of the examples that what I could think of.
Okay. Feel free to ask more questions, or if you want to have more elaboration on that, let us know in the chat or in the Q&A, and we will see if we can get back to it by the end of the session. All right, so let's move into the world of Apple. And I will start in the same way as Sandy did on Android, but of course, it's same, but different, as I used to say. We have talked a lot about MAM. And of course, if you look at the bar here from the left side to the right side, it's on the left side, you have the most personal, bring your own device kind of scenario. On the right side, you have the fully corporate, no privacy, typically dedicated or shared even on the right side. And of course, the further right you go, the more manageability you have. So you have the user enrollment. We'll give you a subset of management options on the device itself, but you will only be able to manage parts of the device. Device enrollment gives you full control of the, not full control, it gives you control of the full device, but not everything. And then you have the Apple automated device enrollment, where the device is supervised, where we can do anything Apple has in their MDA API. We can do anything using that. So when you do a manual enrollment, that means the user is doing the enrollment itself. You need to be on version 17 or later. You need to configure the Apple MDM push certificate, as we talked about earlier. we do recommend if you're doing any kind of user enrollment, you will require domain federation. For device enrollment, you will not require domain federation. For the user enrollment, we will require you to have a managed Apple ID, which is a Apple ID it's managed in your environment. So you have set up your domain to be managed in Apple, and then your Apple IDs could either be synced, or you can have a just-in-time creation of Apple IDs belonging to that domain. When you move into the world of automated enrollment, again, the Apple MDM push certificate is a requirement for all enrollment. It's only valid for the few days we have, and 365 days. And as I said earlier, we do not want this to expire. And let me just go through this quickly. And in this Apple Push Certificates portal, this is where you create the certificate the first time. There is, of course, from the Intune portal, there's a link that brings you right here. If you don't have a corporate Apple ID, you create one, and then you tie that to some shared mailbox, typically, where you can, so it's not tied to a single person. And then with this Apple ID, you create your certificate. And what is important when you want to renew this is that you go into this portal and click on renew, and don't go and create a new certificate when it's gone a year, and you go and click create new. That will also break everything. So make sure you always do the renew action on your
so the
current
screenshot
certificate.
Is showing the way that you are not supposed to do. Right?
What do you mean?
Because now this screenshot, the screenshot you have one that is revoked.
Yes, and that is on purpose, because that is revoked.
On purpose, yes. So that's why I wanted to mention that that's not how you should look in your environment, that you should not have the one that is being revoked, because if you have the one is being revoked, which means that the mobile device, the iOS that you were using this certificate to enroll, so those one will have problems. So what you should do is just using renew instead of revoke. Not,
yeah,
again,
the
not
reason
create
for
a new
this
one.
It's because this was a lab environment and I had multiple tenants, and I just needed to test the
That's
revoke
why
thing.
My iPhone was showing the certificate was unverified today. That was the reason.
Maybe.
The phone I had.
Could be, but maybe. I'm not sure. But we did revoke
Pointing
one on
fingers.
purpose.
Yeah, that's my phone. I was using this.
All right. So when you talk about, if you want to go down to the automated enrollment path using Apple Business Manager, School Manager, we do need to have the DEP token. They still call it DEP token in Intune. They don't call it ADE token. And also, we also need the VPP token.
Oh yeah, we have a really good question in the chat. You that break the device if you switch the email.
So
that created token.
If you do that correctly, you will not break it. So basically, though, you need to go in. So you need to do this before the admin is no longer available, or hoping that you can get access to that old email address once, because that is required. So when you have this, then you can go to Apple ID, like appleid.apple.com. I think that's the address. And then you can log on, and then you can change the email belonging to the Apple ID. So if you change the email address belonging to the given Apple ID, then you are switching the email that owns the Apple ID to something else. So that is something, if you have it tied to a person today, make sure you go in, change that to be a shared account as soon as possible before that admin leaves the company. The worst scenario here is you have a personal email account belonging to an admin that left the company in a bad situation, and it don't want to talk to you anymore. Then you have the issue where you need to basically go and create a new certificate and start over with all your devices, which is a pain. Yes. Domain federation is required for the just-in-time Apple ID creation. It's totally recommended. You can manually manage Apple IDs, but you don't want to do that in a production environment. So what you use is SCIM, System for Cross-Domain Identity Management, for automated user provisioning in Apple Business Manager. So that is kind of the requirement that's required in the bottom. So with Apple, there is something new that has come out in the last half year, I would say, and that is called Apple Declarative Device Management. So with Apple Declarative Device Management, that is coming from iOS 17 plus, it allows us, the DDM allows the device to more autonomously enforce policies, for example, OS updates, rather than waiting for MDM command cycles. Quite a lot of the MDM controls will require the device to be supervisioned. With supervision, we mean the device has to come through Apple Business Manager in some form or Apple Configurator, and that is the only way to get the device supervised. And this requires a full reset of the device, so it needs to be reset back to factory. So there's no smooth way into supervision if you're not already there. So the difference, though, between a legacy MDM and declarative device management is that the legacy is service-centric. The MDM service is always in control and constantly checks the device status. It's reactive. The service sends command to the device, and the device passively waits for instructions. The device must report back to the server to communicate its status, creating a constant back and forth. But with DDM, the device has autonomy and management logic. The device will actively apply configuration and take action based on its own state and policies, rather than waiting for the server. The device will send status updates to the server only when necessary, reducing network traffic and server load. So imagine a manager constantly calling an employee to ask for updates and give new instruction, versus imagine a self-managing system where the employee follows a set of rules and only contacts the manager when there is a significant issue or a change in their work status. To visualize a little bit, just look at using DDM to kind of just say install application. So this in using the legacy, it's a lot of back and forth. So the legacy MDM sends out the signal to the device to install an application. The device says, okay, and then the MDM checks status, and it says, okay, checks again, oh, I'm installing, oh, checks again, oh, app is installing, checks back, app is installed. And this can go back and forth multiple times. Install application using the DDM, the install application sends to the Apple device, it gets an okay back. The Apple device just checks, does the install, does everything on its own, and then it just sends back the status to the MDM when it's done. It doesn't have this back and forth, back and forth. So DDM for iOS updates does not only work properly on supervised devices. The deadline here, David, what kind of deadline did you do, and how did you do that? Did you set a deadline by date, or did you, because the DDM policies are different. So if you do the software updates for unsupervised devices, there is a specific policy that works for that, and they are different. It's as far as I know, it's only the update to latest is the one that's supported for non-supervised devices. Let me just by date. So that means you probably didn't use, let me just quickly, because I have two samples in here. I have this ADE policy where you, in this one, We have here you have the delays. So this policy here on top here, this one, this is supported for non-supervised devices. The other one, which I don't have in here, but if I go and say add setting and do DDM software update and target date time, and I do like this, as far as I know, these settings here, where you do a date time, are only supported on supervised devices. So typically on a non-supervised, I would have a policy like this, and it would look like this, and you have the enforce the latest, and you have a delay in days. And this delay in days is from the time the update comes out, not from you create the policy. So if you have delay in days set to 10, and the update came out 30 days ago, it will still just start immediately, because this is kind of based on when it's released. So for everybody else that hasn't played around with this, so this is way this looks in, this is from the page of a device that is currently in process. We see here that it has a current OS version. It has the latest available for the device. We see the install reason is declaration, and the install state in downloading. And on the right side, we see that on the device, it's skipping 18.7.1. This is on 17.5. It's skipping the whole 18 and goes straight to the upgrade to iOS 26, as expected when I say, hey, go to the latest. And then if you go further, this is how it looks on the device. It says, hey, your update to iOS 26.1 has been scheduled to install in 19 hours. And this is because the time for install was set to 10 a.m. And the time here is 15. So 19 hours. So that's when it's scheduled to install. And then we go further and we say, hey, it is downloaded. And if you click on this downloaded button down here, you can click install now if you want to.
Now it shows to me my phone is 15 hours.
Yes, because it's even closer now. So just to show this in practice, I have this. There is a tiny confusion thing here. This is a supervised device. But again, here we will see that it is on the current version. It still says down here pending OS 26.1. And now it says install state none. But it is actually the build version. It's all the same. So this is actually means it's updated. This is something they should fix on their reporting side, because it's actually reporting the correct version. While on Sandy's phone, we will see here on the software update that her current state is here and the install state is prepared. If she clicks on install now, we should see within not very long time, it should say installing as well.
Okay.
Anyway, to avoid those pop-ups when it's going to install, or maybe just get one pop-up. I notice pop-ups always every hour. Have you seen multiple pop-ups on this, Sandy, that it's scheduled?
I didn't monitor this though.
No.
But I see that the pop has changed. It was 19 hours, so when I now just checked that it's now
Or maybe that's
15.
the thing though. Maybe it reports like every hour. It really wants you to do it like now. And I think the notification really doesn't really go away until it's installed. And I don't know a way to avoid those pop-ups, really. Where are my actual thing here? Yes. So let's move further and talk about the different enrollments. So Apple user enrollment. This is for the bring your own device scenario. It requires you to have a managed Apple ID that requires this Apple ID to be owned and managed by organization. It provides users access to some Apple services, and this can be created manually, but I recommend using Enter ID Federation and Skim to handle this. So Apple user enrollment with company portal has been deprecated. This was the way to do Apple user enrollment in the start, but it's no longer available. You need to do the account-driven user enrollment. So account-driven, just-in-time registration, that's the only thing that is supported right now for doing this. So you need the standard setup here, but you also need this specific setup service discovery thing on your on this URL. And under here, you need to have this kind of setup with this link. And I think, if I remember correctly, shouldn't we have this? If I do like this and do like here, and I do dummies, you will see here we have this here, and the only thing we really set is our tenant ID. This needs to be there for user enrollment to work. And if you have a lab like we didn't have a web server, so we had to do some playing around in some Azure static web things to get this working in our lab. You need to set up just-in-time registration policies in Intune. You need to assign Microsoft Authenticator. The end user might install a Authenticator beforehand now. That was actually causing an issue before. But now if the Authenticator app is on the device, it's still going to work as expected. You need to have the enrollment profile in Intune, and you need to prepare your employees for enrollment by telling them how that is going to happen. But this can be driven by going in and just clicking the right things. So when do you do the Apple user enrollment? There is a separated volume created. It will contain your managed apps, your managed notes, your managed calendar attachments, managed mail attachments, and managed keychain. And admin can only manage these parts. So with that, there will be like a managed version of Outlook. Can we then install a personal version of Outlook in the personal space? No. This is one of the biggest differences between Apple and Android. There is a separation, but the end user can't see it, and they are not fully separated on the OS level. So you can't have two versions of the app like you can do on Android. This is for your reference. I'm not going to spend time going through all of this. This is also a reference on what you can and can't do. This will be in the slide deck for you. That will be available for you after. So how does this look? This is a video. So typically though, the end user will be told to go into General here and click here and sign in with Work and School account. And from here, the end user is logging on with his email address, his Enter ID account. And then he will continue doing the logon. He will do the multi-factor thing, and he will also then sign into iCloud for Work. And then that's a two-step sign-in. And this is requires the federation to make this work. And then when you have done this, you will be signing into iCloud for Work. And now you need to allow for remote management. Let me just skip that a little bit. And then you come here and you need to allow for remote management by clicking this button. And when you click that button, you enter your iPhone passcode to allow the remote management. And when that is gone, Intune takes over, or the MDM API on the phone takes over and gets the policies down from Intune. And in this scenario, there's no company portal required. So the user doesn't have to install company portal, and the user doesn't have to do anything but going in here and log on. And when this is done, we will also, okay, that was not expected. You will see though that, let's go here, the app starts to install, and then the end user needs to approve the app install, but then we will see the apps popping in. And we do see company portal here, but that is not the company portal. It's just a web clip pointing to the portal.manage.microsoft.com website, so that you can do some kind of install your apps and do check-ins and syncs and so if you need to. So, and then we go to Apple device enrollment, which used to be the most common personal enrollment before user enrollment became a thing. In this scenario, it's company portal or web-based. Microsoft is recommending now web-based device enrollment also for this scenario. Using device enrollment, there is a much larger set of payloads available versus user enrollment. You can manage more of the phone. Full device wipe is available. There's no data separation. It requires Apple ID to do any kind of app downloads. And admin will manage the whole device. And as Microsoft says, they recommend web-based enrollment for devices running iOS 15 and later because it doesn't require anybody to install a company portal app. So the difference is really nothing when it comes to functionality, but you don't need to install a company portal app as part of your enroll before you enroll. Your admin can still provide you with a company portal app after installation if you want that to be locally on the device. So doing this, I also have another video here. We can this can be forced through either through going to this URL, but also if you have conditional access requiring compliant device and you try to log on to Outlook or something, it will just do this directly from within Outlook as well. So you don't need to go to that URL manually. But for demo purposes, I'm using this URL. And then the user logs on and you get to this page here where you go and say, download a file, doing security settings and install the file. And click on get started here. And then it will do the multi-factor. And then it's downloading the configuration profile. The same thing that happened through the company portal app. The profile is downloaded on the device. We go into settings. We find the profile downloaded and we click install on the profile. So then when all of that is done, we will see the device is enrolling. With device enrollment, the device will now be managed, the whole device. And you will see that applications again starts installing and do the same kind of things. But now we have more available options. We can install certificates, we can manage the whole device, we can set device settings and more. So if you go a little bit further, you will see here again, the apps are coming down to the device and we are ready to go as the end user. All right. Next is when you do device enrollment, it's a very smart idea to install the Authenticator app before they begin the device enrollment, because then the SSO setup in the Authenticator app will be there from the start. Set up just-in-time registration with SSO extension policy. Use conditional access to push end user to enroll devices instead of using the enrollment link. There are some limitations now. Management profile must be downloaded in Safari. So it means if you go to that URL in Edge, it's not going to work. You need to do this in Safari. User have a limited time to install the profile. It's nothing new with this. It's the same as using the company portal application. Timing issues on the work apps versus Authenticator app install if you are not installing that beforehand. So this comes back to the SSO thing. because the Authenticator app is your SSO broker on your device. And that's why we typically recommend end users to install Authenticator app first before they do the device enrollment. They need that anyway if they're going to have multi-factor requirements during the app during the enrollment, and then it's good to have that set up already beforehand. Sorry, not sure if I understand that question.
Never mind.
Yeah. All right. Web-based enrollment can be used without JTI, but it will cause issues with the company portal app. The portal does not recognize enrolled devices without SSO extensions policy. So these are important things to consider when we're doing this. All right. So let's move into automated device enrollment using Apple Business Manager. So, of course, the best way to do this is to have a reseller. You buy the device from the reseller, and the device is automatically added into your Business Manager when you order the devices from your reseller. If you're big enough, you can have a direct relationship with Apple. I never met anybody who has that, but I have heard it's a possibility. Most typically, you buy through a reseller, you add their number in here, and they are able to add the devices in here automatically when you order. The other way to do this is to use Apple Configurator 2. This can be done from either your phone or your Mac. One of the things to do here is to actually do this through a Apple Configurator app on your phone. And then when you are on the Wi-Fi page, you take the phone with the Configurator app installed, and you, soon as you take that phone and put it over the other phone, it will pop up this QR code, or if you want, this animation, and then it will read it here in the right side, and then the phone will be added into your Apple Configurator. And it's very, very simple and super quick. But when it's added, you also, as I said, you need to erase the phone and need to start over again. It needs to be totally factory reset again to enter into supervised mode. So in here, we have the automated enrollment, and in here we can do that with or without user affinity. So if you are enrolling kiosk devices, typically they will not have user affinity. Then you manage the device as just a device. And then you have with user affinity is when the device is personal, or it's owned by used by an end user. There is no Apple ID requirement. You can enroll the device, you can manage the device, you can push applications and everything without having any kind of personal Apple ID on the phone. You can even block them from allowing them to have that on the phone. As I said, when it's supervised, we can do all set of payloads. Anything that's possible through Apple's APIs, we can do then using this method. And if it's not in the UI, you can create custom profiles and send that in as well. Otherwise, if you choose to, it should be supervised. We can also do locked enrollment, means users cannot remove itself from management. And we can also, and on top of that, we can also block them from resetting the device. So to make sure they are up and running. But again, if they do a reset, it will just go back into enrollment again because it is locked. There's no data separation. If you want data separation, you need to do MAM, application management, on top of this as well. Admin will manage the whole device. So from a perspective of how this looks, I have another video. It's hard to demo this live. It's also because it takes too much time. But this is one of my test devices. I'm logging on to some kind of network, and Then I will retrieve configuration, and it tells me the device is owned by me, and I need to enroll this iPhone. There's no option to do anything else. I am again need to log on here and do the multi-factor, and then we go into configuring, getting the configuration, and this takes a little while to do the configuration. So let me just skip ahead. It asks me to set up Face ID. It asks me to create a passcode. And then from here, it continues. And when you get to the desktop, or when you get to the home screen, all the apps is, oh my God, all the apps are already installed. Come on. Here, you can see that all the apps are already installed here. So the user, when he gets to the home screen, the apps are installed. We have put on our own wallpaper, and we have branded the phone. And then if you start Outlook on this one, we just click on Add Account. For this reason, for some reason here, that was not as expected, because this should have been added in there. The reason is the Authenticator app has not been authenticated yet. But when you have done the first logon in the first app, that happens through the Authenticator app. And when that is done, then the device will be able to use that authentication for the next app. Yeah, never mind this. And here we go. And also if we then use, yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. When you open up the next app, that is already ready. It's the same account, and you're ready to go. So Apple Business Manager, corporate devices will be secured as soon as devices are turned on, because you know, Autopilot, the device gets into the right tenant, but there are ways around it if you want, and you can do some stuff to get admin things and go Shift F10 and get in and do things. With Apple Business Manager, there is no way around this. The device is secured as soon as it's turned on, it's managed. You can ship it directly to the user. But also Business Manager plays a part if you want to have user enrollment, because also in here you need to have the manage app ID and the federations. And the apps that you want to push down should always be used, sent through VPP. That's the only way to silently install applications. So the first thing we need to do is connect Apple Business Manager to Intune. And there is a 5-step, 6-step process here. So we add the MDM server assignment, and here we give it a name. We choose upload a public key that we got from, and that we will get from here in Intune. So we add the enrollment program token, and then we download the public key from Intune. Then we can upload that in Apple Business Manager. When this is done, we are good to go. We click on download MDM server token. And then if you have done this, if you do this again, it will reset your existing one. So do this only once. If you click that button again and don't upload it back to Intune, everything will stop working. So you upload it here. The Apple token is downloaded down here. You type in the Apple ID you used, so you know which account to use next time. And then when this is done, you click create, and then it's active. It also has an expiration that you need to manage and follow up. I will show you a trick tomorrow how you can follow up on all these iOS things, the connectors, using some automation and graph. That's quite cool tomorrow. So when this is done, we can see though it has one device synced, and so on and so forth. The funny thing though is that every once in a while, it will just stop syncing, and it will tell you inside Intune that your device is, your DEP token is no longer syncing because you need to sign your terms and conditions. So when you log on to the Apple Business Manager next time, because you need to do that to re-enable this, you need to go in here, you need to read everything in here, click yes, yes, agree. And when that is done, the token will start working again. And then to install applications or volume purchase apps, you also need to have a token from this. And then we can do that we can have multiple VPP tokens based on location. So if you're an international multi or global company, you might want to have multiple VPP tokens for different locations. The reason for this is not all apps may be available in all locations or regions. If there are apps you need that are very local, you need to have a VPP token from that region to be able to deploy it to your end users. So you go in here, add a new location, and you download a content token from here under payment and billing. And then you go into here, click on create Apple VPP token under tenant admin, connectors and tokens. You click on here, you upload the token file that we downloaded from Apple Business Manager. Here it comes back to the location. And I always recommend setting automatic app updates to yes. This is the only way your VPP apps will automatically update on your fully managed devices. And when this is done, and you will always be able to see, though, the last sync time and the expiration time in here. But that is what it is. So before we finish off, let me quickly go in here and look at, you have this here, connector and tokens. We have this VPP token here. You can click here, you can see when it expires. It expires in December. You can see the country and region, everything. You can see it in here. And you can also here add this in. So in here, if you want to have, let me show the same demo as you did. Here. We can go here on apps and books. And then we can, yes. We can go in here, we can take an application, and let me see if I can find something that we don't have. Let me search for something else, Dropbox. And here, if I want to add this, yeah, never mind. Then you have to choose a location, and then you need to choose a quantity, and then we click Get here, and then it will be synced back into Intune by clicking on the, here, you can click on Sync. Where is that sync thing here? Sync. And if you go here, connectors and tokens. Again, Sandy, where is that tokens connector status? This is also a good place to see your tokens. And of course, these ones here on the top, these are the, and we also have here the VPP expire dates here. And we have the DEP expire date as well. Can we use the same VPP token for two MDM platforms? I would say that is not a smart idea, but it's, you just go in and create a new, this is why you go in and just create a new location, add location, and then you can create, based on that location, you can create different type of VPP tokens. You can have one token per location, but then you can just transfer and manage licenses across those locations at the same space. The biggest issue we have with auto app updates is that it seems to happen at the worst time. Is there any way to force updates only over Wi-Fi? We block the App Store on our devices. The only way to update an app is when the device needs to update a large app or mobile, it causes frustrations. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but I think by default on iOS, it will not update apps over the end user has to allow that typically. But I assume there is a way to, I've never done that, but I assume there must be a way to block app updates over 4G, 5G. I'm not sure, but I assume.
I'm not sure. It might be have that setting. We have never really needed that setting.
No, I mean, the fact though in Europe we have pretty quick
unlimited
internet
data normally.
And unlimited data on the phone, so we rarely have those issues. We should check that up. Maybe we can add that as a comment in the slide deck.
Yes,
we will add it as a comment in the slide deck what we find. You should look into that. There's a lot of things we can do though on the supervised devices. So if it's possible to do it through the Apple API somehow, we will definitely be able to do it. Let me show one example here where we have a custom policy. Just wanted to show that here where we have a very custom policy. And then it's basically, if you can make it, if you don't find it in the UI, you can make a policy using Apple, what is it called? It's called Apple Configurator, or it's a software stuff you only can run on Macs, isn't it? You can create profiles, plist profiles, and then you can just deploy them. And this will work on supervised devices, but it will not work on any other device. But then if it's possible to do it through a configuration profile, you can also do it in Intune. We just need to figure that out. And we will check and put it in the deck at the end. Is there any other questions? Because this is the end of the... Is there more questions? No, there's no more questions now, is there?
No.
Andy?
No. No. No.
Do you have an example of custom config profiles? Maybe a good repo. I would love to see what the community is doing. I actually don't. There are some repos out there. I don't. On macOS, I know there are things to be found. I haven't seen anything on iOS devices. I think it's don't necessarily look into Intune management or look into Microsoft or anything. Look into like the Apple management world. That's possibly where you could be able to find some of that. Yes, I am at the end of my presentation, so we do have 10 minutes for any questions regarding anything we have talked about this morning.
Well, while we're waiting for questions to come in here, John, Sandy, thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you here. But all right, I don't see any other questions or hear them. So John, Sandy, we're looking forward to have you back tomorrow, same time. Slightly different topic though, focusing on graph and all the fun stuff you can do with graph and reporting on the data that is collected and whatnot. So we will break for lunch and we will resume again at 1 p.m. Central Time. And for again, thank you, John and Sandy, and I wish you a great evening here. So thank you.